Power Producers Shop Talk, where we are refining and redefining the sales game by equipping you with the tools you need to differentiate yourself in the marketplace.
Listening to the podcast is only going to get you so far. Why not take your game to the next level? Check out Power Producer Basecamp on killingcommercial.com today.
Tactical skills that'll help you provide deliverable value to your clients and prospects.
Want to have the sweet swag that we send out from the Power Producers podcast for your clients and employees? Check out policyt.com today.
And action items that you can provide to take your prospects and clients to the next level.
Want to create an online presence but don't know how to start? Check out crushingcontent.com. It's done for you, so all you have to do is show up.
This is Power Producer Shop Talk, production redefined. Are you ready to feel the power?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Power Producer Shop Talk on what is the first of what will be a total of 12 episodes for the Protege Season 3. And we're titling these Becoming the Protege, and we're going to feature each one of the 9 contestants that we've chosen, in addition to the 3 sets of coaches that we've chosen, so that on Fridays leading up to the release of the very first episode, you're going to have the ability to get to know these people at a little different level than what you might get to know them on the show, even though our goal in editing and everything else is to let their personality shine through so you can relate to who they are as people first and then professional second. So our first guest right out of the box definitely got the most buzz for the application video. The guy lacks zero confidence. He is not afraid to say what he's thinking. I personally like it a lot. I think he's going to go very far, both in the show as well as in his role as a producer, period, which means subsequently life. We have recent podcast guest, Mr. Sam Louwrens. What's up, brother?
Doing good. As you can see, I'm in the trenches.
You are in the trenches.
So.
You got the bomber jacket on. The only thing I wish is that I had that bomber jacket on Joe M's from Assembly when we had him on the podcast, because if you've not seen that guy, you need to go look at the YouTube video of it. He is a dead ringer for Miles Teller. He looks just like Deuce's son in the Top Gun. We were in the middle of the podcast and like my ADHD took over and I'm like, hold on a second, man. I can't concentrate. I got to believe people tell you you look just like Miles Teller. He goes, no, only about like 5 or 6 times a day. Then it's like, you think the person just looks like that online. Well, he came to Producers in Paradise last year, and I'm here to tell you the dude, he probably had people asking for his autograph in Key West, going up and down Duval Street. He looks that much like that guy. I've never seen a doppelganger that's that close, honestly. It's crazy.
That's funny you say that. I don't think I look like Tom Cruise at all, but Mr. Peter Brecht, I don't know if you're familiar with him.
I know who he is. Yeah, I see him on X all the time.
Oh, he's great. You should have him on the show, honestly. Peter's a legend, but he calls me Tom Cruise all the time. And I'm like,
okay.
It's probably just because I'm short, honestly, but
who knows, man? Or the laugh. I will tell you, your mannerisms are similar if you've ever heard Tom Cruise get interviewed before.
All I have to do is join Scientology. And then I've completed the arc.
Well, I mean, who knows, man? And marry somebody. Well, you need to wait till you get older, because if you marry somebody like half your age now, that would probably be a problem.
That would be a problem, yeah. That would be an early end to this career. Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe Scientology needs insurance. Yeah. So
you know what? I am in the home of it in Clearwater. I actually have called on the Church of Scientology based on a referral. Somebody before. Yeah, they've got a massive installation over in Clearwater, which, that's probably 45 minutes to an hour from me with traffic and everything now, but they buy a lot of real estate. They have a lot of buildings, and I ended up being in a sales call early in my career over there. It never really went anywhere because what they were looking for was a workers' comp policy that was essentially a ghost policy, and they wanted to give all and nobody that was already in the church was able to get it placed. So that's why I got called. And I'm like, well, if you're not going to give me the rest of the goods, I'm not going to kill myself for this. This is ridiculous.
Right.
And I probably would have freaking written it, and they'd have turned around and AOR'd it to somebody. Maybe they'd have given me a year, maybe not. I don't know. But anyhow, we're here to
You
talk
gotta be careful. There might be like a little red bead on your back right now, David.
Yeah. Oh, look,
They're aiming
hey,
at the blinds. They're going, he's right there. 10 o'clock.
they're free to believe what they want, man. I'm not judging them based on that. I'm just telling you, I explained to them the same thing I teach on this podcast. I know my hourly rate, and I'm not going to work for less than what that is. So
My question is, what work comp class code do assassins fall under?
who knows, man? Probably any number of them. I would think paving company might be a good one down here for as much road work as we have. It makes it very easy to dispose.
Hey, if you're closer to Glendale, California, it's waste hauling. It's
I'm sure.
junk removal.
I'm sure. So listen, man, we
Yeah.
had you on the show recently, actually. So it's kind of weird that we're turning it around this quick, but then also not really with the context of it. I wasn't even sure I was ever going to do Protege again. It's a lot of work, man. And, I don't know. I think I'm a very opinionated person if you haven't figured that out, which is why I don't have sponsors, and I never will, because nobody's going to make me beholden to what they want me to say when I have the mic. I'm going to say what I want.
You got to pretend to like a Ridge leather wallet.
Yeah, or whatever.
Dollar Shave Club. I definitely use this.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's funny you even say that because I get so many things in my email. I got one this morning from some underwear company that wanted me to be a brand ambassador for them. And I'm like, there's so much I could do with this. I almost am considering what I might be able to do. But no, I mean, I think that people out there are jaded because there's a lot of people who are producers or were agency principals, and they want to go in and have a coaching program or a side hustle, and they never really did what they claim they did when they were a producer, or they've been out of the game for so long that it's not even what they did 20 years ago is not even relevant today. But that's the status quo, right? Like everybody looks at those people and they're like, everybody falls into that category. And I'm a unicorn, dude. I work nonstop and still have great work-life balance with my family and everything else. Part of it has to do with the energy and the ADHD piece. But a lot of people look at the show and they're skeptical about it and they wonder what the angle is. There's not an angle, man. I don't make a dime off of this. My YouTube channel is not monetized. We do have some people coming in like Charles Specht, quite frankly, could be considered competition. I don't view it that way. Charles doesn't view it that way. I mean, if competition wasn't healthy, we would only have one restaurant to choose from. And that's what I always say. We may cook the same dish, but his recipe might be better to somebody than what mine is. And I'm perfectly fine with that. But then I think there's a subset of people that are always going to be skeptical, wondering what the angle is. What do I get out of this? Is it an ego play or whatever else? And the answer is absolutely not, man. To be completely honest with you, I've lived 20 years in the insurance industry, pissed off with a absolute edge on me and a chip on my shoulder because when I came into the industry 20 years ago, I went from making six figures to not being able to get a job for $25,000 as a junior producer because nobody had a training program or a way to support me. So I always said that if I ever get to the point where I've had some level of success and I can prove that what I've done is replicable, I'm going to do everything I can to give back as much as I can. Number one, to highlight the industry because we desperately need good sales talent, but nobody really has a way to recruit it from the outside. And I mean, to that end, when I launched Florida Risk, I always said I will not hire a single producer who has any insurance experience whatsoever. I don't want it. I want to bring people in and give them a chance. And the other part of that is, I also understand that if you have insurance and your insurance experience and you're out looking for a job as a producer, you're probably not a producer. Producers get golden handcuffs. They get, the entrepreneurial ones will go start their own agencies like what I did. So I've just never felt like you're going to find that talent walking on the streets. And the other thing is, with us focusing on total cost of risk and a completely different approach to the sales process, I don't want to have to brainwash somebody on why they need to completely overhaul what's helped them write business up until this point. So I tell you this because you're the first episode that's coming on, and I want to lay the groundwork for everybody listening to this. There's nothing for personal gain. This is a way for me to give back. And I'm somebody that if I tell you that, you can take that to the bank. I don't say one thing here and one thing there. If I didn't want to do this, I wouldn't. And quite frankly, took 2 years off because I was sick of doing it. It's a lot of work going through and reviewing the submissions from the challenges and even the B-roll, and then having to chase people around, which I'm going to have zero tolerance for this season. I don't want to have to ask for things more than once, but it's just a lot of work for me. It's a lot of work for the people who are in there. I think that it puts out a good work product for the people who are willing to go watch it. If you can get through the fact that we are not professional cinematographers and editors and all of that. Now I have a dedicated media team now that I did not have when we did it before. That's got 6 or 7 people on it. So I have very, very high expectations for production quality and everything else this time. But we did a reasonable job for what we had to work with, and I feel like there's a lot of producers out there that can learn. So all of that to say, that's now that the table's been set and we've talked about who the guest mentors are going to be. We've made that public. Got a whole lot of curveballs and surprises that are coming out that I've already got planned. And, we're just getting warmed up from that aspect. But I have to ask you, dude, why? Why did you decide to throw your hat in the ring? That's the first question I ask everybody.
So I was sitting there. I think it was a little bit after the deadline. And you were like, hey, I didn't see your Protege submission. And you told me just to throw some video up on my cell phone. I had kind of thought I would like to do this. I think we talked about it at off air on the last podcast. I think we had chatted about it, and you said I should hop in the ring. But when I got your DM, because as I understand, some people were late, so there was a bit of an extension.
Yep.
I was like, no, I don't want to do this. So the first thing I did was I actually called my agency owner. I'm like, this makes me uncomfortable, so I have to do it, right? And he said, absolutely. He was like,
ask your agency owner, man, because that's the first obstacle I think a lot of people have to overcome is getting buy-in there, because they're, obviously they have to worry about their own reputation as an agency and everything else, which we're never going to make. Look, number one, I don't want to get sued by anybody. So for those reasons, I'm not. But I mean, that's not on my moral compass, man. I'm not going to make an agency look bad, especially when they encourage people to go out and push themselves. So kudos to them for telling you to do it. I gave him the rundown, and he was stoked, actually. And it was clear. I was like, oh, man, I have to build in public, and potentially embarrass myself. But there's no downside to doing this. There's no downside to jumping in. And so he pushed me in that direction, and he's great, actually. So there was a bunch of things that I've kind of wanted on the tech side for the agency to kind of enable me to produce more. And he said, if you do this, we're gonna go hook you up with all of those. So I'm jumping into it right now, learning some. We're getting a new AMS, new CRM. The folks over at Momentum, I think, is who we're gonna go with. Yeah, so they're legit. And so that day, I said, I'm going to commit to it. I saw your text. You said, just film something on your cell phone. And I thought, you know what? No, I have all this video equipment I had bought a year ago to do content, just sitting. It was literally collecting dust. There was an actual blanket of dust on it. I grabbed that stuff, called up my buddy, fellow producer, Eric Everson. We drove out to this little mountain view. I bought a suit at Goodwill on the a little bit previously. I bought a suit at Goodwill, a little oversized, and a prop, which was the metal detector, and that was it. We just kind of improvised the whole thing. Wrote a script down. Eric had to take off somewhere. Got my wife to hold the camera,
And then that's where I recorded my little speech. So I thought it came out pretty good. It was like 10 hours straight of editing. I have a bit of that process refined now. I had no idea how to use. I used DaVinci Resolve, which is like Blackmagic's free editing software. I learned it
Oh,
from
really?
scratch for that thing. Yeah. So
I've never even heard of that, to be honest with you. And I've got a Blackmagic A10 Mini Pro sitting on my desk right now, but I didn't know they had like editing software. At some point, just
it's
to
good. Yeah.
yeah, so at some point, I'll actually use everything I've invested in. So I've got an Sony A8 directly in front of me, but I still use my Logitech webcam. I have an A6400 with a light over my shoulder, and I have another A6400 on the other side to get a talking headshot. And I should be using this A10 Mini Pro to do cuts while recording the podcast. And I've just never really committed to doing it. So maybe hearing you say that and me putting it out there will make me do that going into Protege, especially as I'm giving all my feedback and stuff. It'll give me a
I
renewed interest.
with the scripted bit where I'm just reading off that piece of paper, everything I had put down literally that day. Having I had a little camcorder, a what's it called, Canon Power Shot, legendary little camera, terrible quality, but it has sort of a fun aesthetic to it. And my wife was just holding that at a different angle, and I will say, just cutting between those two angles, those two frames, really helps with the rhythm and keeping you engaged. If you're just staring at a guy standing in a field reading, it could be the funniest thing in the world. It's not going to be, I don't know. If you can break it up visually with the different angles, it kind of helps people stay there for some reason. I felt that while editing it. I was like, man, this feels better. So, anyways, I don't know. People probably won't be interested in my little video editing
You never know, man.
revelations. Yeah.
The things that people reach out to me about are the things that I never really even gave a second thought to most of the time. So you
There
may
you
have
go.
somebody send you a message and say, "Hey, you changed my life," blah 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 blah. So um, we're getting buzz, man. We're getting buzz already, and I mean, obviously, I'm a hype person. I put out as much as I possibly can to try and get people engaged, but you had the guy from Reuters reach out to you, and then subsequently he must have reached out to me at the same time. And I recorded that interview with him on Monday. I think it was Monday this week, and we went for probably 20 or 30 minutes just telling him the story behind the show. And I told him, I said, you need to reach out to contestants, pick who you want to talk to. So I don't know if you've heard from him or not, but if you haven't, you probably will, because I think he plans on interviewing you to talk about
Yeah.
what he's going to do or whatever else. And I mean, look, that's not bad press for you going into this thing, and that's the one thing, you guys are going to hear today from Derek Hayden. But the one thing that I would tell you that really impressed me the most about Derek over everybody else, a couple things. Number one, there was nobody on season one that was going to outwork that dude. Like, he is Midwest farm boy. Like, he is not. Nobody was going to outwork him. I'm not going to say people could not work as hard as him, but he's the guy that's definitely going to tell you ain't going to outwork me. And he would be right on that. But the thing that Derek did that was the smartest was he listened to what I said early in the competition, and that was, you have to get the base. You have to get your base early. If you don't get your following base early and build on it from there, you're not going to have enough votes at the end. It's just not going to happen. And that's the way we did season one. We had everybody go through a series of challenges. We had a lot more contestants, and that's one of the reasons why I pared it down this time, because it was too much, honestly. But we pared it down to the top 5 through the challenges, and then we sent everybody out to produce. We taught them how to build the mousetrap. Then they went out and used the mousetrap, and you'll see that when you saw some hints of what Derek built, even in the hype reel I put out yesterday about him coming on the call. But they used the mousetrap, and then the top 3 in production were the ones that went to the popular vote, and we streamed it live from BrainShare, which was Jason Cass's event in San Antonio that year. and we announced the winner. And then I had all three of them come. They all three came to Brainshare. We went out and had a massive blowout steak dinner and everything, and celebrated that. But Derek got in early with the base. He got the local newspaper to run a story on him. He got on the news channel. I mean, this guy, you would have thought he was running for office, for crying out loud. But the reality is, when we had him on the podcast, he's from Shelbyville, Illinois. There's like 5 traffic lights in the whole town.
Right.
He's the one who won. He had over 60
population Derek Hayden.
Yeah, no kidding. Population Hayden family, maybe. Yeah. Right. But, the whole thing is he had over 60% of the vote by the time it was done.
Whoops-a-daisy. We're back.
So that's the thing people need to think about is, how do I balance getting my base built, growing that while I'm simultaneously doing the other thing? And the thing is, what the real magic in all of it is people were building their social reach. They were getting opportunities for business because people saw them out there and were learning what they did, and really began to trust these people and see how hard they were working and what their solutions and stuff were. It's just kind of an accidental, like, I expected it to generate business in the long run, right? I didn't expect it to generate business because people actually watched somebody compete, but there were leads coming in and everything else, which I thought was a really cool, aside to the rest of it.
Yeah. I shared it over on X, and it got a lot of interest from my target, sort of consumer base, the contractors. They thought it was great, which to me is it's a big green flag for what I've kind of wanted to do but held off on, which is this kind of content marketing, or I don't know, I have kind of, some people call it an influencer style, which I hate. I
don't think
that.
You have an influencer style. I think you will get influencer type reach if you just continue to be yourself and you don't sell out. Don't sell out to the show, man. And not even just Protege. Don't sell out to being, I don't want to say politically correct, because I don't think that's the right term, but
you don't know me.
Well, no,
I would never.
I know you wouldn't, but you have your own unique voice, and I think that's what will lead people to you, both to follow you on your journey through the show, number one, but also in business. And there's too many people out there that try and be all things to all people. Don't do that. Like, it's okay. You don't need to represent everybody. Find the people that are going to be your tribe, and you're going to roll with them for the rest of your career. Average account in my book of business 20 years in has been with me for 12 years at this point. I've got some of them that have been with me for all 20, but it's because of who I am. It's because, number one, they know I'm going to work my tail off for them. I'm going to deliver on what I promised them that I'm going to do. But we're very similar people in a lot of aspects. And I've gotten to the point, over the last 5 or 6 years, we've gone on trips with my clients. One of my clients, we jumped on their boat and went from St. Pete down to Key West for a long weekend. And I mean, I'm thinking, I'm getting paid to do this and just hang out with these people. And the reality is, and it's it goes back to what I've told my kids all along when they ask, what do you do when you go to work, Daddy? Well, Daddy gets paid to make friends for a living. That's what I do. And I've always thought that way. And I'm fortunate, because if I look across my book of business, there are people that are just like me. We have very similar interests and everything else. That takes all of the posturing and fake crap out of it. You can just be yourself with your clients and vice versa, and have the same goal, and actually have really good relationships with them. You're around them all the time, almost as much as your family and your work life. Why not be with people you enjoy that actually appreciate you for who you are, not just what you can do for them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I love how down-to-earth contractors are. It's a great vertical for that. I mean, 100%. Some of those guys I could chat with for hours on end. But I'm kind of a naturally curious guy. So a lot of people from a lot of different walks, even people that I strongly might disagree with, I can hang out with, which, maybe makes me probably naturally good at networking. Not really great at sales. I think cold calling is a different discipline. But Yeah, meeting people is not hard for me.
No, I didn't gather that it was.
Yeah.
So you don't know necessarily what's coming yet, but what are your thoughts? I mean, how do you see this thing shaking out? I mean, I think you were pretty bold in your predictions, and you're kind of
I told my boss, Mr. Boss Man, I said, I'm gonna give it my all. So, uh, I I need all the support I can get. I'm gonna go all in on this. I don't know exactly what my strategy will be, but I think that's the point. Um, I have a pretty weak pipeline around this time of the year, so I'm kind of like, all right, we're gonna be building that. We're probably gonna be targeting some potentially new verticals, niches. I don't know. Coming up with, I mean, I've watched some episodes of the previous show, coming up with some unique approaches. I've seen some of the coaches; they have totally different flavors to what they do. So I'm keeping an open mind. Like if I get Zach Mefford, I'm gonna lean into the surety thing. Zip bonds, I love zip bonds. I have another contact now, thanks to Mr. Cody Hook, who I believe is an acolyte of yours.
yeah, I was on a
Who
call
also
with
has
Cody
surety stuff.
yesterday.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we finally met. Cody and I run in some similar circles, and I didn't know he was a killing commercial guy. He's really cool. I like
Yeah,
him.
he's a good dude, man.
Yeah, and he's
That's another
running
dude
kind
that's
of
not
like
going to compromise who he is.
no, no. He's running like what I want to build, and a lot of things he does, I've like thought like, oh, I should do this. I should write a playbook for contractors on their insurance. And then it's like Cody has one. I'm like, this guy, he's 4 steps ahead of me at every turn.
Well,
But he's
here's
got
the
some
thing,
years
man.
on me, so it's okay.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, this is the cool part about what you're getting ready to go through is you are going to do that stuff whether you like it or not. You're not going to have a choice, and it's going to be immediately relevant to your current book of business and what you're doing right now. So when we run you through the challenges, it's to help you stabilize what you've already written, but then also go out and get more. So, I'm not going to challenge everybody to go out and write like a playbook per se
Hmm.
that you're going to leave behind because my God, I don't have time to read the playbook for everybody, number one. But
Right.
but the other piece of it is it's certainly something that you should consider. And I mean, I know Micah Salas has done something very similar. The first guy that in my circle that had done something like that was Steven Sedlak with the work comp effect. And that the whole thing was here's a book on workers comp and all the things you need to know as a business owner, and I'm just going to leave it behind. And um, you read it. If you're serious, call me. If you're not, no big deal. But I mean, I think I need to get some sort of royalties from Sedlak at some point because once we had him on the podcast and people started realizing, that they could go on Amazon and buy that, a lot of agents went on and bought his book to see how he did it. But I mean, it's a great way to establish authority with people. And I don't know that there would be a higher intent lead coming in than somebody who read an entire book that you wrote on the subject and then reached out because they want your help. Like that deal's already
Right.
closed, right?
I probably would do it now if I were to try something like that. I'd probably do it virtually. I'd do like a video or something,
Or a
um,
series.
a
Stay
video
tuned, man. You don't know what
series.
the
Yeah,
challenges are yet.
I do not. I anticipate that I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna be using these cameras a little bit more.
Oh,
That's what I'm
absolutely.
anticipating.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And I mean, I think that just have fun with it. That's the other piece of advice I would give you. The more fun you have, the
yeah.
better the creative side is, and the more that it'll get viewed, and that'll draw some more attention to you. But the other thing that comes from this experience is the number of carriers and other industry people, the wholesalers, whatever, that'll reach out to you because they want to do business with you based off of seeing how you put yourself out there on the show. So I think it's a huge
Hmm.
opportunity for everybody involved. If it wasn't, I wouldn't do it. Um, what do I get out of this? I truly enjoy helping other people. I'm at a stage in my life where I don't care. I shouldn't say I don't care. That's the wrong answer, but I don't need to make any more money, man. I don't need to grow my book any bigger. Like I'm not saying I don't want to make more money. I'm just telling you I don't need to. And you get to a
Right.
point as a producer, especially, it's like it's no different than gambling, honestly, man. You go out, you start at the penny slots. Next thing you know, you're playing 2,500 a hand at the blackjack table, and you have to
I'm a
continue.
poker guy.
Well, you have to continue to get more and more and more to fulfill that dopamine rush that you get
Oh
when you
yeah.
win. And production's no different than that. And you get to a point where you just can't fill that anymore, and you end up finding more joy and more satisfaction in helping others win than even yourself, especially when you know how much it means to their family financially and otherwise. And that's where I'm at this point. I genuinely like just helping other people. Yes, Killing Commercial is a definitely a monetized community to be in. I'm not a
Hmm.
nonprofit in that aspect. I have to be able to, compensate for my time and the cost that it takes to administer all that. But at the end of the day, man, I hope there comes a time where when I make my exit, I make so much money that I can just end up doing it for free, not charging anybody anything. And that's my way to give back.
Well, I'll tell you what, the thing that jumped out to me from the last season, there was a clip of you saying, I'm pretty sure this was in the last season. This might have been actually part of your promo for the third, but you were talking about how the protege, you want to make insurance sexy. And when I heard that, I thought to myself, this is a man that enjoys an impossible task. This is a this is this is Sisyphus with the boulder. It's like that's impossible. I want to be involved. Get
Yeah,
me
let's
on
go.
board right now. Uh,
It's like the meme where it's Jeremy Renner and I don't even know who the other person was. It might have been Vince Vaughn, or Ben Affleck or whatever, and he's like, I don't even remember how it starts out, but essentially they're getting ready to go do some stuff they probably shouldn't be doing. And he's like, I just have one question: who's driving?
right.
That's it, man. It's
Yeah.
we're gonna go out, we're gonna rough some people up, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. All right, who's driving?
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, look, if you can make insurance cool to non-insurance people, you have, I mean, I don't know. There needs to be a trophy for that. Maybe Medal of Freedom
I,
worthy, at the White House, get them on the line.
Listen, dude,
Uh,
they did it with $1 million listings, and now I can't get enough of Ryan Serhant. Like I love owning
right.
and watching how they've built that with the social platforms and everything else. But I mean, is it really a sexy job? It's only sexy because you highlight the potential people have to earn serious money and have a great, life around that with travel and everything else. And insurance definitely has that exact same opportunity for everybody. It just doesn't get the attention that it deserves. And if it does get attention, it's typically negative about people not getting claims paid or, paying too much in premium or whatever else. You never get to see the other side of it. And I'm very much aware of the fact that if we make this too sexy, that's exactly what we're going to hear is we're going to have all the trolls come out. Oh yeah, you can make all this money and do all this stuff. And that's why I'm paying so much or whatever else.
Yeah.
It's nuts, but at the end of the day, anybody who wants to jump in the comments, I appreciate you helping us build the algorithm in our favor.
There's
Thank
an app for you. It's called Next Insurance. It's
you.
called
Yeah.
Geico. If you
Yeah.
don't like us, go here. Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to leave your comments so that we can continue to grow our base. We appreciate that part of it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.
There's no way around it. And it sucks having to tell people what you do and then trying to qualify it. Like I just embrace it at this point. Like I make self-deprecating jokes, but a lot of producers, they'll go out there and they're like, I'm an insurance consultant. I'm a risk architect. It's like, what
Yeah.
risk architect? What is this? You, what do you
Yeah.
think you're doing?
Well, that's the whole play, right? Is to
You have a
get
bachelor's in finance. You're an architect of nothing. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the whole play is to get you to say, "Oh, what's that?" But then the reality is, how do you really break that down to where the average person understands it? And I remember Scott Addis, who I followed for a number of years, started the Beyond Insurance Group network, and they had a designation called the Risk Architect. Like that was an actual thing, and he trademarked it. And back in the early 2000s. And it's
Well,
just
no
like,
disrespect to him.
no. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it for that reason,
Yeah.
man. I always kind of felt the same way. It's like, I get it, but isn't really getting in front of people supposed to be about the path to least resistance? And if they have an insurance problem and I tell them I'm an insurance agent, aren't they going to be able to put two and two together at that
No,
point?
you got to nestle everything in euphemisms, David. You
Yeah.
can't be honest and straight with people. This is insurance. Come on.
Yes, euphemisms and buzzwords, and I mean, I see people they
Oh
have
man.
these ridiculous, like just ridiculousness, man. There's just so
My
much
goal
of
in
it out
life, my goal in life is to be the 1000th VP at Amwins.
there. Yeah, there you go.
I want to be in the small VP army they've got over there.
Well,
No disrespect.
that's
You guys are great.
wholesalers, banks, everybody's a
Yeah.
VP. It's like there's no different. Like that used to be actually something that when you got promoted to it meant something. Not that it doesn't, but I feel like it's more like you have like 5 different levels of VP. You have VP, junior VP, senior VP, executive VP. Like and you go through those ranks, why not just save the VP title and like have other segments below it, so then you're actually moving up into something that makes sense to people? But you're right. I mean, I
Right.
agree with you. It's comical. Everybody's got VP on their business card, and it's like, what's that even mean?
My agency owner very early on, he told us to be to never try to talk yourself up like that. Use terms to make yourself sound important. His whole thing, he tells people that he runs a call center. If people ask him like, "What do you do? What do you do for a living?" He's like, "I run a call center." It's just like his his
There you go.
default because it's not glamorous. It isn't actually what's going on, but if he says insurance agent, insurance broker, maybe that's a little more straight to it, but it just shuts down the conversation like instantly. And then he doesn't have
Oh
to
yeah,
talk about it.
yeah, no
Like,
kidding.
yeah, we do take calls and make calls over here. So
So
maybe
listen,
that's
before
that.
I let you go, man, talk a little bit about your agency. Go ahead and get it out there so that people know, because we're going to have people from outside the industry that see this for sure. Talk a little bit about your agency, where it is, all of that, and give them a plug.
We are Jefferson Financial and Insurance Services. We're a little boutique shop in Northern California. We serve 2 industries, construction and aviation. I don't touch the aviation side too much. We are lean. We are a lean, mean machine. So we're pretty big for our size. There is a total of 5 people, but yeah, we're just trying to grow more and more by the day. So over the last, I want to say 2 or 3 years, we've invested a lot in stuff like coaching, stuff like the tech, just learning nonstop at a vigorous pace. And now I'd say we're a much more formidable market than where we were just 3 years ago. So yeah, that's Jefferson. It's me and friend. It's just a bunch of friends and one old guy who does the
Yeah,
billing.
the old guy
Yeah.
has to do the billing.
We're very young. I think the agency owner is like 35, I
Wow,
think,
it's
and
pretty young.
then I have no idea how old our accountant dude is. Mr. Jeff is a legend, but yeah,
He's at least 64.
the most intense person you will ever meet. He's the kind of guy where I think he was a drill instructor. Actually, he uses military terms all the time. He'll call me and he's like, "Sam, that account you were dealing with?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he says, "Bohica." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Bohica." I'm like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Bend over, here it comes again." And then he'll give me like the worst news ever about something that happened. I'm like, "Okay."
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's
You
his
actually
whole
probably,
thing.
not that I should give you tips on the show, but I'll probably give everybody at least one humorously when I do these podcasts. You definitely need to like get him with Arlie Ermey's voice being a drill instructor on Sora in some of your content that you put out. It would be fantastic.
50 calls, 50 push-ups
Yeah.
now.
I've
Yeah.
I've literally just started seeing the Arlie Ermey ones come out where he's pissed off, he's in the store and doesn't want to do self-checkout. And it's absolutely hilarious. But right now, I have Sora on my phone. I'm sort of holding out a little bit because I feel like people catch on to a trend and then everybody's on it, and that's not who I am. I need to come up with like my own thing, and I haven't figured out what that's going to be yet. But I think
Right.
my favorite ones that are out there right now is Mr. Rogers with the rappers. Like they're fantastic.
Oh man, yeah. Gosh, I love
Mr.
and
Rogers
the
with
stuff is
Tupac, he's with Eazy-E, he's with Biggie. Like it's fantastic.
boomers are cooked on this stuff already. Like my grandma's sharing videos of AI bears like chasing people on porches, and it's like
Yes.
it looks like a camera,
I
and
saw
like a
one where
normal
a hawk
security
picked
camera.
up a baby out of somebody's front yard.
Oh yeah, they're eating this stuff up. They're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Can
and
you
they think it's
believe
real.
this is real? You're like, oh no. Oh no. It's only a matter of time, David, until we have AI agents we're competing with.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Good old Martian McLennan's AI agency. Just wait.
Yep, it's coming. Well, listen, man, I'm
Goody
going to let you
two-shoes.
run. I got to get to Mr. Joe Hollier, Mr. Hotel. He's coming up next. So any parting
Right
words
on.
before I let you leave?
I'm scared of that guy. Yeah, I've got my eye on him. You
should
tell him
have
I
your
said
eye
that.
on him. Yeah, you should have your eye on him. He's a little shifty. You got to keep,
Yeah,
keep one eye open.
Those hotel guys, they're like the hotel business, all right? There's some stuff going on behind the scenes, I'm telling you. You know, if I can't beat them in production, I'm going to call the IRS and they'll take care of it for me. So
There you go. There you go.
All right.
All right, brother. Have a good weekend, man. Everybody else, we'll catch you next week. And we already told you who it's going to be, Mr. Hotel, Joe Hollier. We'll see you.